Today, we're talking about the future of AEW and ROH on Discovery. We got some major developments on this story. Also, AAA wrestlers coming back to AEW. My official thoughts on this matter. And, of course, we got to talk about a huge WWE return. Man, I can't imagine if it happens what the reaction would be, but I think it would be pretty damn massive. Guys, let's start off with our friends here at AAA. As you guys know, there has been some cross-promotion between the two promotions before, and of course with AEW and AAA possibly coming together yet again, there are a lot of speculation based on the recent episode of Being the Elite, in which the Young Bucks obviously invite the current Mega Championship. So, when it comes to AAA, it's tough because I don't always watch it. I try to watch a little bit. I stay familiar with what's happening, but there's just so many wrestling promotions to follow. And I think that's one of the good reasons why AEW should have AAA wrestlers on their program. However, if I were to offer some insight, and this is just my opinion, I'm not saying everybody's going to agree here, but I want AEW to get in the habit of building stories with the wrestlers that are from these other promotions. It's amazing to see Impact people show up on AEW. It is amazing to see NJPW talent show up on AEW. It is amazing to see AAA talent show up on AEW. It is amazing to see the Joshi wrestlers show up in AEW. However, I would love to see AEW build storylines amongst those in the companies. I know that's a difficult task. Some shows are pre-taped. Some shows don't have weekly television. Some shows, there's a lot of variables that make it difficult. But I like the idea of AAA and New Japan and AEW and Impact and all of these companies kind of teaming up. That's something that you don't see in WWE. And yes, it is awesome that we're going to get a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and I hope that continues to evolve. But I want to see storylines attached to it. I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for storylines to be attached so they feel somewhat important. Maybe this bothers some people, right? But as a wrestling fan, I do expect a little bit more than just a good wrestling match. I can watch good wrestling matches, good UFC fights, good boxing anytime. But what draws me into a television show is something that keeps me intrigued. And that is one of the reasons why I enjoy bits and pieces of every wrestling show, because I think every show does that to a certain degree. But specifically speaking, when it comes to AEW and New Japan and AAA, I would like to see a little bit more, especially because they're all freaking awesome. So why not just tell some badass stories? Anyways, guys, let's talk about Paige. I am absolutely intrigued by this story here. As you guys know, we have been following this for a very, very long time if you follow the channel. But now I would like to discuss Paige possibly returning to WWE. In fact, let's just open up the screen right here. So, guys, let's talk about this. Paige continues to use social media to her advantage. There was this tweet that went out a couple days ago, and it was basically, 50 Instagram photos for Paige. And Saraya had obviously quote retweeted this, and she says, "Imagine a return though." And as you guys know, when it comes to the idea of Paige returning, there has been a lot of ups and downs within this topic. There's times where people believe it's going to happen. There's times where people believe it's not going to happen. There's people who have reported that she is going to be cleared. Then there's talks that she won't be cleared. It is such a crazy situation, and because it involves her personal health and well-being, it sucks to speculate, But it doesn't help when Paige is putting out tweets like this saying, "Imagine a return, though." Because, to be honest with you, the idea of a return here is not really relevant, Look, at the end of the day, I think very highly of Paige. I thought she was absolutely incredible in WWE. And her situation in WWE right now is very odd because she's like a part of WWE, but she's not a part of WWE on television. And there's a lot of gray area here. Now, with that being said, I want to throw this out there because I do think very highly of her skill. And I remember when WWE had her as a general manager, and I don't know if that was something that she enjoyed or not, but I thought she actually did very well in the role. One thing I would like to point out, and this is just me thinking, fantasy booking and whatnot. Ronda Rousey is incredibly good in the ring. I don't think you'll ever hear me speak negatively about Ronda Rousey and her ability to wrestle and sell and do things like that. I think she's picked it up very well. My thing with Ronda Rousey is that some of her shortcomings are that she is not the most believable on the mic. And that's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that she'll get better with, you know what I mean? I loved her I Quit match with Charlotte. I think one of the things that would be really unique would be to have Ronda Rousey being managed by Paige. And if Paige does get cleared, then you have a massive feud between the two. Right now, you don't have to play around here. People know that she's not cleared to wrestle. Bring her back as a manager. Help her get over Ronda Rousey. And the minute that she can return, I would do it. And I would set up that program. That's just me fantasy booking, having a good time with wrestling. But I do enjoy her work, and I'm very intrigued to see what happens. All right, guys, I want to turn our attention to the AEW and ROH TV deal stuff. This is massive. So as you guys know, all of these shows are, these networks and stuff, they're providing their upfront meetings, presentations for advertisers. And WWE, obviously, Bianca Belair with NBC. And then we see all of these other wrestlers with Fox as well. Now AEW has their meetings for Discovery and Warner. And guys, this is really cool. So this image right here is the newest image that is being distributed across social media. And for those who are unaware, Discovery Warner, or Warner Discovery, whatever they're calling it, had their presentation. And what do you know? On Wednesday nights, AEW is the focal point. Which is awesome because Big Bang Theory is right underneath that. So for those who look at AEW's ratings dropping as some sort of bullshit end to their company, that's not the case here. It appears that they are all in on this show. And the reason why I would assume that is because they have this show front and center for advertisers. They are asking people for money, and when you ask people for money, you want the things that are most important to your company to be highlighted. And right now, what you are seeing is a mixture of content between Discovery and Warner all together under one. NBA playoffs, MLB on TBS, and then you have Windy City Rehab, you have Big Bang Theory, you have Love It or List It, 90 Day Fiance, and of course, you do have AEW. And yes, they do have Chopped. That's one of my favorite shows on the Food Network, by the way. But they have AEW there. So if you think that AEW is going to lose their TV deal, I don't know what evidence you need more than this. But I wanted to show that to you guys. It is a very interesting situation. What's even better is that they have Red Velvet on the image as well. I don't know if that is a sign of maybe a push to come or whatnot. But Red Velvet, you know, when she started in AEW, she was not even signed to AEW. And then through her work in AEW, she became, a contracted wrestler for them. And now she's part of the baddie section. And now she's actually doing stuff. And I think really highly of Red Velvet. I've said it for a very long time. I think she's really good. She's got a lot of star potential. And this is really cool to see her being listed here, being advertised here, because this is the first glimpse that advertisers and network partners are going to see. So between NHL, MLB, and everything else, it appears that AEW is being treated as a sport. You know what I said several months ago, True TV, ROH, no confirmation, but this appears to be a very, very good sign of things to come for AEW. What do you guys think? Let me know.